Good afternoon, class. This is your oral communication teacher, Ma'am Ayala. Today's topic is about communication apprehension. Now, what can we learn from this topic? Number one, we need to define stage fright from communication apprehension. Number two, name the 4 different communication situations affected by communication apprehension and give example each. And identify ways to benefit from communication apprehension. Okay, at first, let us find out the very common communication situation. A common situation that we might be in are the following. Number one, conversation. What do we mean by conversation? As I am busy talking to you, class, this is virtual, online, using our gadget. But if you will be in front of me, inside the classroom, face to face, the two of us, then we call it conversation. We are conversing each other. Number two is the so-called dialogue. What is a dialogue? Dialogue is almost similar to conversation. But the only difference is we are having communication in a more deeper sending of message and much more intimate and purposive. It means to say that the purpose of our dialogue is really in need or is really or extremely important. So, conversation. Number 2 is dialogue. Number 3 is the so-called interview. When we are doing this interview, this is a formal one, purposive also. And if you are in this communication situation, you might be in a job interview or in a company interview, or you're applying for a job. Or it can be inside the courtroom, doing the interview by the attorney. So that is interview. Number 4 is the small group discussion. A small group discussion is a gathering of 3 or more people who wanted to explore the subject matter. Okay, say for example in a class, but the classroom is empty. I am the only one talking. In a class, the teacher usually gives you a topic to discuss as a group. So we call it a small group discussion. Next is the public speaking. Public speaking, if I am the one talking in front of my audience, I am now the speaker. And it is usually done if the speaker aims to convey the audience with his or her message, or entertain others, or giving speech. That is also an example, and that one is face to face. And public speaking, maybe this is the hardest situation in communication, in the sense that it is most challenging, especially if the person is not really skillful or articulate in talking in front of the people. And here comes now the stage fright, the one which is having fright or fear in talking in front of the audience. So who among you have got this stage fright? And then we need to practice how to speak in front. This is about public speaking. Now, from there on the stage, on the public speaking, and all this kind of communication situation, we need to know the what we call the stage fright. The fear of speaking before the audience is called stage fright. Stage fright, natatakot na humarap sa maraming tao if you are the one talking. Okay? And do you know, class, that this fear of talking in front of the audience is called glossophobia. Glossophobia. It affects all kinds of people, regardless of their education, their race, their profession. And even Mom Mayala, sometimes if I am in front of the people, and then through practice, as I am telling you, every now and then, we can overcome stage fright. How can we do it? How do we do it? And this is a matter of continuously practicing ourselves and know how we can overcome this communication apprehension. It was not clear at first whether communication apprehension is an individual trait. So we don't know if this is really an individual trait or an individual's response to a situation. In all that situation, whether it is conversation, dialogue, public speaking, group discussion, people encounter this communication apprehension. And of course, do you still remember what I told you, that there is the so-called the stimulus response reaction in every communication? So this might be a common response of the sender of the message or even the messenger if you are in that communication situation. The level of apprehension of every individual differs in every communication situation. What are those communication situations? I told you a while ago, these are the following: conversation, dialogue, public speaking, a small group discussion. And so therefore, how can we control or eliminate this communication apprehension or the very common stage fright? Number one, communicate as often as you can, as many people as possible. So you see, it's very easy. Communicate. Talk. Secondly, prepare for the speech or things that you need to discuss. You need to prepare. If you are not yet really skillful or efficient in talking, you need to practice it in front of the mirror or in front of your family members and ask them, will you listen to me? And then afterwards, you can give me some criticism, a constructive criticism, quoted. Okay? Remember, practice makes perfect. Number three, do not think of the audience as your fellow communicators or as your enemies. No, it can't be that way. They are your friend and you need to look at them eye-to-eye contact. If I am talking to you like this, I presume that I am talking to the people for you to understand really, and of course to eliminate my stage fright. Can you imagine that Mama Yala will be talking all over the world as this is in my YouTube channel, that everybody can see this one, can watch this in public? But what is on my mind is to deliver the message that I wanted to give to my students, regardless of what the people will tell me, as long as I know what I am talking and I know what information I would like to give you. So remember that. Number 4, believe in your message. You need to believe in your message, otherwise, who else will believe you? Believe first in yourself before you believe others. Number 5, when you hit the mental block and you don't even know what words comes next, then you can do ad-lib. Do you know what ad-lib is? You have this script. Then you can say something which is also related to what is your message. Probably you could do something to reframe or to refresh, or so that you can eliminate your stage fright. Then that is the reason why you're having that mental block. Okay? Next is keep moving. Doesn't mean that you move all the time. You move like this. But you must use extra academic time for you to animate to deliver your message. I am now delivering my message to you, and I also presume that you are in front of me. And the last one, take comfort in the fact that communication apprehension is there. It is normal for a human being to have some loopholes in talking, to have a little bit of mental block. It's okay. You proceed as long as you know what you are going to tell. Okay? So from this topic, I am sure that you can practice eliminating communication apprehension, or the so-called glossophobia. What is that glossophobia? The fear of talking in front of the audience. Thank you for listening. Stay safe and be blessed. Watch again for the next lesson.